Thank you for joining my channel. There is two previous parts to this series. They are linked in the video below. In order for you to have understanding, I advise and encourage you to view them. But I wanted to throw out this video immediately because it is the end of the vision. And so therefore, we're going to start with chapter 27, and it's chapter 27 through 32. Chapter 27. And I looked, and I saw the vision sway. From its left side, a crowd of unbelievers, ungodly people ran out, and they captured the men, women, and children, and they murdered, slaughtered like animals, most of them, and others they kept as slaves. And I saw them, the killers, run towards them, the slaves, through 4 doors, which were high with stairs, and they burnt the temple with fire, and they took and broke the holy things that were in the temple. And I said, Eternal One, behold, my progeny whom you have accepted are robbed by these ungodly men. Some are killed, and others they enslave. The temple they have burned with fire, and the beautiful things in it they have robbed and destroyed. If this is to be, why have you ripped my heart like this? And he said to me, Listen, Abraham, all that you have seen will happen because of your progeny, who will continually provoke me because of the idols that you saw, and because of the human sacrifice in the vision. Through their drive and desire to do evil and their schemes in the temple, you saw it, and that is how it will be. And I said, Eternal, mighty one, allow these works of evil brought about by ungodliness pass by, and instead show me those who fulfill the commandments. Show me the works of the righteousness. I know in truth you can do this. And he said to me, The days of the righteous will arrive, are seen symbolized by the lives of righteous rulers who will arise, and whom I have created to rule at the appointed times. But you must know that out of them will arise others who care only for their own interests. These are symbolized by those killers I have already shown you. Chapter 28. And I answered and said, Mighty Eternal One, you who are holy by your power, show mercy, I pray, since you have brought me up here to your high place, and you have showed your beloved the things about which I asked. Please tell me now, will what I saw be their lot for long? And he showed me a multitude of his people, and said to me, Because of them I will be provoked by them through the 4 high doorways you saw, and my retribution for their deeds will be accomplished. But in the fourth descent of 100 years, which is the same as 1 hour of the age, the same is 100 years, there will be evil, misfortune among the heathen nations. But also for 1 hour there will be mercy and honor among those nations. Chapter 29. And I said, Eternal One, how long are the hours of the age? And he said, 12 hours have I ordained for this present ungodly age to rule among the heathen nations and within your progeny, and until the end of times. It will be even as you saw. And now reckon, calculate, and understand, and look again into the vision. And he said, I decreed to keep 12 periods of the impurest age among the heathens and among your progeny, and what you have seen will be until the end of time. And I looked, and I saw a man going out from the left side of the heathen nations. And there went men and women and children out from the side of the heathen nations, like many multitudes, and they worshipped him. And while I still looked, there came many from the right side, and some of these insulted him, and some of them even struck him, but others worshipped him. As I watched, I saw Azazel come up to him, and he kissed him on the face, and then turned and stood behind him. Then I said, Eternal, mighty one, who is this man who is insulted and beaten, who is worshipped by the nations and kissed by Azazel? And he answered and said, Hear me, Abraham, the man you saw insulted and beaten and yet worshipped by many. He is the relief, liberty, freedom granted by the nations of people who will be born from out of you in the last days, in the 12th hour of the age of ungodliness. But in the 12th hour of my last final age of fulfillment, will I set up this man from your tribe generation, whom you saw issued from among my people, and all who follow will become like imitate. They will like imitate this man, and they will be called by me, and they will consider him to be called by me, and they will join the others, even those who desire to change within themselves. Regarding those who emerge from the left side of the vision, the meaning is this: there will be many from the heathen nations who will set their hopes on trust in him. But those whom you saw from your progeny on the right side of the vision, who insulted and struck him, many will be offended because of him. But some will worship him, and he will test those of your progeny who have worshipped him in the 12th hour at the end, in order to shorten the age of ungodliness. Before the age of righteousness begins to grow, my judgment will come upon the nations, heathen, lawlessness, wicked peoples, through the people of your progeny who have separated to me, who have been separated to me. And in those days I will bring upon all creatures of the earth 10 plagues, through misfortune and disease and the groans of their bitter grief. And this will be brought upon the generations of men because of the provocation and the corruption of mankind, because they provoke me. And then the righteous men of your progeny will survive in the number amount which is kept secret by me, and will hasten the coming of the glory of my name to that place prepared before those you saw destroyed in the vision. And they will live and be established by the sacrifices of righteousness in the age of the godly. And they will rejoice in me continually and receive those who return to me in repentance, because their inner torment will be great for those who have wrongfully misused, mocked them in this world. And they will see the honor bestowed on those who are mine in the day of glory. Abraham, see what you have seen, and hear what you have heard, and take knowledge of all that you have come to know. Go to your inheritance, for behold, I am with you to the age. So before I start on chapter 30th, chapter 29 pertains to the next prophecy that I will be throwing out, which I'm still working on. But I had to throw out the information because when I was studying the Bible with my father, there was a lot of stories that were incomplete. And so I asked him, why is that so? And what was referred to me, impressed within me, was that he wants us to seek him, go beyond and above, seeking his word everywhere. And I figured it out. I was like, so that's why he spoke to us in parables, because he wants us to have a full understanding of how he works. But any which way, with that being said, I will review when I do throw out the prophecy. But chapter 29 is extremely important for the next prophecy that I will be throwing out. So we start on chapter 30th. Chapter 30. While he was still speaking to me, I found myself on earth again. And I said, Eternal One, I am no longer in the glory on high. Still, there is one matter which my soul longs to know and understand, that was not revealed to me. And he said to me, I will explain to you the things you desired in your heart to know, which are the 10 plagues that I prepared against the heathen nations, and which have been destined to begin at the passing of the 12th hour of the age of the earth. Hear therefore what I tell you, because it will come to pass. The first is the sorrow and the pain of need, sickness. The second, the massive burning and destructions of many cities. The third, the destruction and pestilence, sickness of animals, cattle. The fourth, hunger of the whole world and its peoples. The fifth, among the rulers, destruction by means of earthquake and the sword. The sixth, the increase of hail and snow. The seventh, wild beasts will be their grave, animals will kill them. The eighth, hunger and pestilence will change their course of destruction, alternate with destruction. The ninth, punishment, execution by the sword and flight in distress. The 10th, thunder and voices and destructive earthquake. Chapter 31. And then I will sound the trumpet in the air, and I will send my elect one, and he will have all measure of my power. He will have one measure of all my power. He will summon my people who were despised from all nations, and I will send fire upon those who have insulted them, and who have ruled over them in this age. And those who have chosen my desire and kept my commandments will rejoice with celebrations, parties over the downfall of the men who continue to follow after the idols. And I will take those who have covered me with mockery and give them over to the scorn of the coming age. I have prepared them to be food for the fires of Hades, and be in perpetual flight through the air of the depths of Hades, the underworld. And they will be contents of a worm's belly, Azazel, for they joined a marital or sexual term, one to whom they had not been given to, and they abandoned the Lord who gave them strength. Chapter 32. Hear me, Abraham, because you will see that in the seventh generation from you will go out into a strange land, and the heathen will enslave and oppress them. And they leave the land of their slavery after they had been mistreated for an hour of the age of ungodliness. And the heathen nation whom they will serve I will judge. And the Lord said this too. Have you heard, Abraham, what I told you, what your tribe will encounter in the last days? Abraham heard and accepted the words of God in his heart. And that's the conclusion of the vision. So the only things I am going to add is that in chapter 29, we see that, of course, the elected one that they were speaking about should pertain to Jesus Christ. That was really interesting. Um, Also, the way they calculate time in heaven, isn't that wondrous? I also, this is my opinion, want to add that, a lot of the scriptures that I have been reading that are outside the Bible really have an interaction. The prophet or the people that they're talking to, they have a more of an encounter with God. And so, it's my opinion that, most of the interactions with God, how God interacts with his people, have been taken away. And I wonder why. I wonder why they hide that from us. Also, I will be throwing out, once I finish the series that my father wants to show me, I'm really excited because I want to show what I read in the book of Maccabees, how when it's necessary, God brings upon man uh, the powers, his powers, right? And that was really big with the children of Jacob. when they fought the giants, right? And you see the supernatural power of God working with his children, of course, the faithful ones, the ones that always have trust in God. And so that's really amazing to me. And also the fact that they took these books out of the Bible, our current Bible. Why did they take these books out of our current Bible? It will be my questions. But remember, since the beginning, since since the beginning of times, from what I've been reading, because there's a lot of things I want to come out also with Adam and Eve, and there's books from the beginning of time of how Adam and Eve, um when they were called out the the when they, when they fell into perdition, how Adam worked so hard with God to see if he could get back into the to the Garden of Eden. And so it's really a lot of information that will help humanity in itself have an understanding of God. And that's basically why I'm going to be throwing out these lessons. But until the next one, this is the completion of the Apocalypse of Abraham. I hope you liked it. If you liked, please hit the like button and share. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good, blessed day.